Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. I'm Todd Dyken, and I have the privilege to serve as Kent State University's Provost and Senior Vice President. I also have the pleasure of welcoming you to the return of a Kent State tradition, an annual State of the University address by our President. Beverly Warren's desire to speak with the university community was not a surprise to those of us who work with her closely. She is a leader who believes in keeping lines of communication wide open. And as we'll hear today, she is someone who is unafraid to speak from both the head and the heart. Before we hear President Warren's first State of the University address, I have the additional pleasure of introducing a member of our community who I suspect does not need an introduction. Golden Flash football standout, Jordan Italiano. It is very fitting that we have a student introduce Beverly Warren. She has left no doubt that helping students succeed is and always will be her top priority. And it is even more fitting to have Jordan do the honors. He is a shining example of the quality and character of our student body. That includes the growing academic quality of our students. As I'm sure many of you know, this year Jordan was named the smartest player in college football by NFL.com. Whether or not you follow football, that is a national honor in which every member of our community can and should take enormous pride. So please join me in a warm welcome for Jordan Italiano.
Thank you, Provost Dyken. I am flattered and humbled by your kind words. I'm honored to be here representing the student body on this important day. The State of the University address comes at an exciting time for Kent State, as President Warren begins her second year as our university president. In the time since she first became part of our Kent State family, President Warren has been on a mission to hear our voices, to get to know our 8 campuses, and to put Kent State students first. She's done an amazing job. I personally believe that if something is worth doing, it is worth giving your all. And when I see President Warren and her dedication to Kent State, I am confident that we have a bright future ahead. As I begin my final semester before graduation, I am grateful for all the many opportunities I have had for success, both on and off the field. It's a great time to be a Kent State student, an amazing time for our university. It's my pleasure to now introduce our 12th president, Dr. Beverly Warren, and to say, go Flashes.
Thank you, everyone. Okay. So I know that you know all of the accolades that Jordan has received, but you may not know this one. His national spotlight is not over yet. Jordan is a finalist for the William V. Campbell Trophy. He's one of 12 finalists. This is the academic equivalent of the Heisman Trophy. The final selection is in New York City, December 8th. But I think what you're going to hear from us, Jordan, you're a winner. We know you are. We wish you all the best. And we are so delighted you chose Kent State. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Good afternoon. It is so great to see you here. To everyone here in the Kiva, and everyone viewing from a Kent State regional campus, which is why you see all of the lights, so that this can be spread to all 8 of our campuses. It's so very important. And it's so important for me to have this opportunity to be at a State of the University address from this side of the podium. And I am so excited because there's so many wonderful things that I can share about this university and the university that most of us now refer to as home. However, you may be able to note that while the state of the university is indeed very good, the state of my voice is not exactly in that same condition. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'm hoping that I can make it through to the end because there's so much to share with you. So I'll do my best. I've had a little laryngitis over the last couple of days, so keep your fingers crossed. So today I am proud to share the highlights from the last year. It was our first year together, and I think you have to keep that in mind as we're thinking about these achievements. It was for the 2014-15 academic year. And I think that will leave you no doubt that our community of thinkers and learners and leaders have earned the right to celebrate today. So I'm so delighted to have you here in this celebration. I will touch on some other larger ideas about higher education in general. And then we're going to dream and imagine a little together at the end of the remarks, because there's so much that I think we can build on to share Kent State's impressive momentum. I'm honored to share the community accomplishments with you and with a number of distinguished guests who have joined us today. So please join me in welcoming, and I'll read all of the names and we can thank you for your attendance. Josh Prest is representing U.S. Senator Rob Portman. Cyril Lowry is representing U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown. And Jennifer Kiko is representing Congressman Bob Gibbs. Heidi Matthews is here representing U.S. Congressman Jim Renacci. So would you say welcome to our guests? And would you stand? Are you here? Stand. You know, the presence of these guests really do speak volumes about their support for public higher education. Their job is not an easy job. They have representatives from all walks of life. But I can tell you they are Kent State University champions, and we are so delighted to have you here today to be a part of this celebration. Allow me to begin my remarks by thanking everyone who has made this event possible. You know this doesn't happen by magic. But most of all, I want to thank every Kent State faculty member, staff member, and student for your dedicated efforts. Efforts that are fueled by a passion for making a difference in this world, and that continues to truly foster a distinctive, almost tangible sense of community across our campuses. You know, these are trying times in higher education. Students are feeling the stress of the rising cost of a college degree and the challenge to have their voices heard while respecting and valuing those with whom they may disagree. That's indeed what the college environment is all about. Faculty members are facing increasing challenges to excel in the balance of teaching, research, and service. And often in the noise, they feel that their value is overlooked or underappreciated. And staff members toil daily, but often feel that they have little voice in the governance and direction of their university. So I wanted to say to everyone today that I acknowledge that those challenges are real and that feelings and perceptions indeed do matter. But most of all, I want everyone in this community to know that you do matter. I understand on a very deep level that a journey to a distinctive and distinguished Kent State is only brought about by the faculty, staff, and students who are here to bring life and meaning to this great university. It is our university. And so with that in mind, I think the State of the University address is spelled the State of the Y-O University. And I want to tell a little bit about some of the accomplishments. I cannot list them all. We would be here until tomorrow at this time. But what I can do is shine a light on a sample of your remarkable, wide-ranging accomplishments during this last academic year. And they are examples that all of us can celebrate. And so as I recognize some of our distinguished faculty, staff, and students, I ask that you also please hold your applause until we recognize all. Please smile with admiration and pride as you hear a lot about your colleagues and what all of you have contributed to this great university. Starting with Dr. Declan King, Professor of Physics, and Dr. Jonathan Sellinger, Professor of Chemical Physics. They were named Fellows of the American Physical Society for their exceptional contributions to physics. How exceptional, you might ask? Fellowship in this society is limited to no more than 0.5% of its members. Dr. Lockwood Reynolds, Associate Professor of Economics, was ranked among the top 100 economists worldwide, whose first publications was 5 or fewer years ago. A young star on the rise, I should say. And last year, the National Endowment for the Humanities funded 3 projects in Ohio. Our Institute for Applied Linguistics was the only university recipient. The grant brought college teachers here from across the nation to learn how literature and translation can build cross-cultural understanding. The program was led by Institute Director Dr. Françoise Massargier-Kinney and Dr. Brian Baer, Professor of Modern and Classical Language Studies. Dr. John Crawford Spinelli, Dean of the College of the Arts, was elected President of the International Council of Fine Arts Deans. A panel of fashion world icons chose fashion major Jay Lewis to display his modern fairy tale design at J.C. Penney's flagship store in Manhattan. The Public Relations Society of America inducted Michelle Ewing, Associate Professor of Public Relations, into its elite College of Fellows. She also advises Kent State's chapter of the Public Relations Student Society of America, which was named America's Most Outstanding Student Chapter. Drs. Joel Hughes and David Fresco, professors of psychology, received a $3.6 million grant from the National Institutes of Health. They will explore stress management through meditation and other strategies that could reduce the reliance on high blood pressure medication. Dr. Mary Lou Ferranto is director of the BSN program at Kent State University at Salem. During spring break, she and 2 of her students, Sheila Daniels and Matthew Duck, traveled to Haiti's most remote villages. And there, they provided medical care to more than 1,000 individuals on their journey during that spring break. Dr. Isaac Richmond Nettie, Associate Dean in the College of Applied Engineering, Sustainability, and Technology, received the University Association's William A. Wheatley Award. And this award recognizes his outstanding contributions to aerospace education. WKSU reporters Emil Schulze and Amanda Rabinowitz and student intern Lindsay Schley received first place awards from the National Federation of Press Women for feature stories and special programming. Dr. Elfrida Brown, Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, was elected to the Board of Directors of the National Association of Diversity Officers in Higher Education. And Robin Bonatesta, a double major in fashion and computer science, was one of 58 students nationwide to be named a University Innovation Fellow by the National Center for Engineering Pathways to Innovation. The honor will allow her to seek ways to spark campus change here at Kent State. And Dr. Min-Ho Kim, Assistant Professor of Biological Sciences, received more than $1.8 million from the National Institutes of Health. The grant supports his development of nanotechnology-based means of treating chronic wounds. And of course, the Kent Clarks, a student a cappella group, filled us with pride when they were invited to perform at the White House for President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama. So please join me in thanking these individuals and know that it is a sample of your outstanding accomplishments. And then there are the points of pride that truly take a village. So, for example, we continue to shatter student enrollment and retention records. Where we see other universities seeing declining enrollment, we have had record enrollments over the last 7 years. But most importantly, we also attracted really highly academically qualified freshmen in our university, and freshmen with talents that abound in all ways. Of course, the students we enroll are excited about the caliber of our faculty. But I can't stress enough that enrollment and retention are areas in which Kent State staff members truly shine. From our superb admissions talented folks to academic advisors and many others who make Destination Kent State programs so successful, I receive letters constantly really praising the DKS experience. And to the members of our grounds crew who make our campus a showplace that truly knocks the socks off of most people who come to visit this campus for the first time. And guess what the first impression is of our university most often? It is these loyal staff members who are there to support our students day in and day out across our entire university. And we continue to show our commitment to helping student athletes succeed academically. You heard about one of our shining stars, but it is absolutely amazing that the cumulative grade point average of our 425 student athletes reached a record high of 3.189. And 12 teams recorded a term and cumulative GPA over 3.0. And 4 Golden Flashes were named Academic All-Americans. That is something to truly be proud of. We continue to transform our campuses to provide students, faculty, and staff with world-class facilities. We opened our Wick Poetry Center and Park, the Center for Undergraduate Excellence, the David and Peggy Edmonds Baseball and Softball Training Facility, and our Aeronautics and Technology Building. And we also completed renovations at the main hall at Kent State at Ashtabula and to classrooms at Kent State at Trumbull. And we began work on our new home for the College of Architecture and Environmental Design. Who can miss that structure going up? And a Center for the Visual Arts that is also a massive, really wondering joy as we have all of the visual arts under one roof soon to come. We also are going to enter our new advancement headquarters by the first of the year. We celebrated Kent State at East Liverpool's 50th year of community service, the Wick Poetry Center's 30th year of enriching lives through poetry, the 30th anniversary of our highly successful radiologic technology program at Kent State at Salem, and our Jewish Studies program's 40th year of providing outstanding educational and cultural programming. And we garnered national respect for the way we came together to really mark the 45th anniversary of the events of May 4th, 1970. The unprecedented partnership behind downtown Kent's Renaissance really earned a prestigious new award. And I love the name of this award. The City of Kent, Kent State University received the Greater Ohio Policy Center's Catalytic Partnership Award. And I think that speaks volumes to the partnership that has really emerged over the last 8 years. Certainly a credit to Lester Lefton and his leadership, and Dave Ruler and the City of Kent and Mayor Jerry Fiala. Kent State's View Book earned the top honor in the Collegiate Advertising Awards. The project brought together the talented staffs of University Communications and Marketing and our undergraduate admissions office. Kent State was the only Ohio university named as one of the nation's great colleges to work for by the Chronicle of Higher Education. And we received our second Higher Education Excellence in Diversity Award from Insight into Diversity. Insight is the premier diversity journal in higher education. And Kent State earned, again, a spot on the U.S. News and World Report's list of best national universities, the only public university in Northeast Ohio in that first tier of rankings. We played a major role in the region's victory in the Talent Dividend. I don't know if you remember that. It seems like so long ago. But the Talent Dividend was a competition nationwide among metropolitan service areas. And it highlighted the importance of college attainment. And our goal was for a 4-year period, which MSA could actually produced the most college degrees in that period of time. And as a result, our area produced more graduates than 56 other metro areas nationwide, bringing home a $1 million prize to the region. And as we close the fiscal year, Kent State had 155 active patents and 78 patents in the approval pipeline. But what is truly amazing is of these issued and pending patents, 139, literally 60% of these patents, named students as co-inventors. Working as part of a research team is truly a learning experience, and students learn to think critically and creatively and to work cooperatively with people of different ages and backgrounds and perspectives. And so it was exciting to see that last year's undergraduate research symposium attracted over 200 student participants and involved more than 140 faculty and graduate student mentors. I have said we are going to outgrow the ballroom in the next year. Where's Provost Dicon? He always likes to hear me say that. And then we'll follow that, Todd, with bold thinking and meticulous investigation evident at our graduate research symposium. This impressive multidisciplinary event really showcases scholarship from empirical research to works of art. Nearly 300 graduate students from 10 colleges and one from other areas, one independent, shared their research and creative excellence this year. With faculty leading the way, Kent State offers students a broad range of opportunities to study abroad and study away. In our last fiscal year, 2015, 948 students traveled to 60 countries. While we want to see this number grow, and I won't make you nervous to tell you how much I want to see it grow, but it's already double the national average right here at Kent State. At Porthouse Theater, faculty, staff, and students and alumni co-star in production of Broadway caliber shows. Last summer, more than 30 of our undergraduate and graduate students made musical theater magic. And if you've ever been, how many have been to Porthouse? It is a magical moment when you go. These student musicians really made magic with 10 faculty members, 6 staff members, and more than 20 alumni. It truly is a broad learning community at Porthouse. And let me note one more way, an extraordinary way that our community came together. Literally thousands of you expressed your views during the listening tour, the One University Commission, the Be Bold campaign, and now the current Strategic Visioning Initiative. I know you hope that I stop thinking of different initiatives that I can enlist your help, but we're not done yet, and you know that to be true. But as a result, we did come together in 2016. We will be launching a clear vision, and it will be truly a shared vision of who we are and where we are headed, and most importantly, why. And that brings me to really thinking about the why of higher education. So from creating impressive art to inventing a brilliant future, I've just shared just a small sample, a very small sample, of the remarkable success stories we are writing together right here at Kent State. As I see it, these types of highly collaborative, highly creative endeavors are the real work and the real experiences of a distinctive university. More than any other kind of population, members of university communities come together to learn and discover and to create, and yes, to question, always to question. But we're all focused, I think, on the desire to make our world a better place. And you know, this work can't occur in a vacuum, and it doesn't occur easily online. It must occur on campuses, and it must evolve out of our community as a campus. And that's because it's about the people. People who individually and collectively really breathe glorious life into an institutional mission. In the process, learning communities like ours make a profound, positive, real-world difference. And yet the value of higher education continues to be dissected and doubted and debated. And many Americans see us as too expensive, overburdened with administrative overhead, out of touch, offering an irrelevant curriculum. They say we are failing in our responsibility, one that eclipses all, and that is to prepare students for high-wage jobs. Now, I'll be the first to say preparing students for great careers is a fitting goal for us. But I also stand with those who believe that the value of higher education extends far beyond job preparation. It is believing based on seeing. Every day, we see the profoundly positive domino effects that our work sets in motion every day in every student and in our own lives. So how do we prove to our critics that higher education remains a sound investment for individuals? We must do more than tell the world about what we do. It really is imperative that we talk about why we do what we do. So why is it so important? Author Simon Sinek gives a compelling answer in one of the most popular TED Talks of all time. He explains that people are only moved to care and moved to act when they can understand and connect with the purpose that drives an individual or an organization, a company. So most people in organizations, including universities, can tell you what they do and how they do it. But Mr. Sinek stresses that only a rare few are driven by a really well-defined why. Higher education has been trying to define its why for a very long time, and I think we have yet to succeed. In the void left by our failure to clearly explain our purpose, many of our constituents have attempted to frame our why for us. For example, proponents of a primary focus on workforce preparation were undoubtedly bolstered by a 2013 report from Georgetown University's Public Policy Institute, and it was called Hard Times. It indicated that earning a college degree still is a good return on investment. But the sticking point was if it's the right degree. This report concluded that majors in the arts and social sciences experience greater unemployment and lower salaries than majors in the STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math. But an important element that is often lost in a focus on first career opportunities and earnings is the long-term impact of a college degree. This big picture issue was really addressed by a recent survey by the Association of American Colleges and Universities. This report compared graduates directly out of college with workers in the 56 to 60 age bracket, those at the peak earning years of their life. And so on average, these mature workers, and I hesitate to call them mature workers, but let's say those hard-charging workers at the peak of their careers, with degrees in the humanities or social science fields, were found to earn about $2,000 more per year than those who majored in professional or pre-professional fields. It really appears that the link between majors and money actually weakens over time. I think we could have told them that, right? Because it is what you do with your life that is most important. It is how you see your purpose. So another challenge emerges when the sole focus of higher education is preparing students for specific jobs. It's an issue of growing concern among employers because what they know is that at the rate at which knowledge is growing and technology is changing, they know that higher education must prepare young people for the jobs that don't yet exist. There's no way to prepare for a particular job a decade from now. So what we must do is to prepare individuals for a purpose to find their way in life because they've had well-grounded experience. And there is ample evidence about what employers are seeking. They want employees with skills and talents related to the highly coveted skills of critical thinking, communication, collaboration, creativity, and innovation. Think 60% students with patents before they graduate. They want young people who are going to be lifelong learners. So why am I telling you this? Because I'm sure you already know it, many of you in the room. It's because I want to assure everyone who is choosing or will choose a major that it still makes the most sense to find out your unique why and follow your passion. Again, it's fine to think about a career in terms of earning potential, but it's my belief it's a lost opportunity to make that the sole basis for choosing a major. Are there any students in the room? You can send that message to your parents because I think it's so, so very important. So what does this all mean for higher education? You know, it's funny. I think we must be the academic equivalent of Match.com. We have to help students find their purpose in life and marry it to a professional passion, because we know that that's when real, true success and fulfillment occur. We must help students see the range of opportunities that exist within a major. So it's not good enough to help students just settle on a major. We should help them pinpoint what aspect of the field ignites their passion, and what do they want to do to make a difference, and how can we help them achieve that difference? So you've probably figured out, my passion is helping students find their passion. And I believe that higher education should help students become what sociologist Tim Clydesdale calls the purposeful graduate. His book of the same name shows the powerful benefits that result when we provide a college experience that is based more on a calling than on a career path. And so I'm very proud of Kent State University's many ongoing efforts to provide the fertile academic program preparation and a nurturing campus climate that produces purposeful graduates. I'd like to tell you about two of these inspiring students. Rachel McLean is a first-generation college student majoring in nursing. She will tell you that her college dreams might not have been possible without 2 scholarships from Kent State University. And that support allowed her to travel overseas in a study abroad experience. And while she was abroad, studying in Geneva and Florence, she was able to attend the World Health Assembly. And it was at that moment that she learned so much more about the lack of basic health care really leading to suffering in the world over. And then her goals crystallized for her. Today, Rachel is continuing her studies, and she will join the Peace Corps when she graduates from Kent State. And when she has completed her work with the Peace Corps, she plans to pursue a life of helping geriatric patients. Andrew Konya is another Kent State student who personifies, really, the purposeful graduate. Andrew is pursuing a doctorate in chemical physics. But he had that aha moment when he saw a way to harness technology, computing, and math, and social theory in a way that would empower groups of individuals to speak with one voice. He wanted to use the idea of how to give any group or any organization, or for that matter, a country, the way to express themselves in collective thinking, so that it's one voice around one cause. And so Andrew's new business does just that. He's one of the lucky patent holders. He launched Remesh, and it was made possible in part by the guidance of our faculty and staff in Kent State's Blackstone Launchpad. He created it because, to paraphrase his words, he dreams of a world where conflicts are resolved by conversations and not wars, and where passionate people for social causes can collectively share their message. So for all of you, Remesh is available on the Apple App Store and Google Play. And Andrew would appreciate this plug, and please go download Remesh. So examples like these affirm the results of Dr. Clydesdale's work. And it shows what can happen when the traditional work of career preparation is inspired with a sense of working toward a higher purpose, a purpose beyond salaries and status. Yet the results often do include the former and the latter. But that's just beginning. Purposeful graduates find lifelong joy in the meaningful and productive lives that they lead after graduation. So what could be better than that? And I think that is our purpose in purposeful learning. So I want to go here to talk about a community like ours that has invested a great deal of time and effort in imagining Kent State's best, most distinctive, and most meaningful future. And I really do think that our vision statement that we have created together does an outstanding job of expressing our institutional why. The desire to be a community that comes together to create new knowledge, meaningful change, and purposeful graduates that will better our society. So with that in mind, I would like to switch gears for a few minutes. Let's dream for a moment about how we might create that bold, brilliant, and illuminating future we are seeking for Kent State and our work together. So you've heard me talk about I'm going to dance on Risman Plaza with our provost when we reach the goal of 85% retention rate in the first year and 65% graduation rate. And Todd, I'm getting a little nervous because I think we're going to do it. So maybe we should think about some dance lessons. And you've heard me challenge our community to double our research funding and to quadruple our endowment. I see Jeff quaking in the front row. These are truly laudable goals. They're goals that we are going to strive and try to reach. But what I want you to know is I'm really ready and willing with you to dig deeper, to dream in a more bold way, and to dream in a way that's very imaginative. Dreams that are kind of as bold as they come. So to start with this, I ask you to imagine that nationwide and worldwide, Kent State immediately comes to mind in national conversations about academic excellence and innovation and leadership. That we are known for modeling an optimum balance of teaching, research, and creativity. And that we are home to an outstanding faculty. Scholars who are as likely to teach an introductory first-year course as they are to direct a doctoral seminar. Imagine that the world knows more about our fashion program, already ranked number 4 in the nation, but climbing. That it's widely known that our Florence campus is home to students in fashion and architecture and business and so many more. And that we share that campus with the University of Hanoi, Dan Cook University, Webster University, and so many others. You know, imagine that the cat is out of the bag about our top interior design program. Imagine that everyone knows that our School of Visual Communication Design is ranked number 4 in the nation. And imagine that more of the world knows that our program in children's and youth literature is ranked in the top 10 nationally. And that we fly with the best because we have one of America's top aviation programs. Imagine that more people know about Kent State's work in the pioneering scholarship of cognition, learning, and memory recall. And judged to have faculty publications with the #1 impact in the country in these fields. And that it's common knowledge that our scholarship in traumatic stress disorders is ranked number 3 in impact factor, and that would be trailing only Columbia and Yale. Imagine that the rest of the world knows that Kent State School of Journalism and Mass Communication can point to 15 Pulitzer Prize winners among their faculty and their alumni. Imagine that Kent State sets the goal of leading its peer institutions in the percentage of tenure-track faculty. Or for that matter, the percentage of tenure-track faculty members at institutions with far fewer bragging rights, but more faculty with tenure. We will do better. We will lead in this area. In short, imagine that the world knows what we know, that Kent State is among the best of American research universities that focus on the distinctive balance and blend of teaching, research, and creative excellence. And that we are home to an outstanding faculty who are as committed to teaching and learning as they are to discovery. So now let's imagine, we've got that one done. Let's imagine that our faculty members come together in their own learning communities to devote their time to exploring the best ideas for meaningful courses and classroom experiences, really working at that purposeful learning. Work that makes learning a more powerful experience for instructor and student alike. And it makes Kent State known as a university where you can open the door of virtually any classroom, lab, or studio and find a thought-provoking discussion underway. Imagine that our students, this is going to be cool, enter their freshman year declaring a mission as well as a major. So as part of choosing a major, we would ask them to articulate what is the impact that you want to make on this world? And what are you interested in doing when you leave here? Instead of saying then, for a student, I'm a geology major, our students would say, my mission is to ensure that all people have access to clean water, so I'm studying geology to prepare myself to make a positive impact on the environment. Imagine that our first year experience course really probes meaning as much as it fosters campus connections. With support and guidance, students would explore the question during FYE, what do I want to do with my life? And they would understand that it's okay for a freshman to write that mission in pencil. Imagine that we offer an essential curriculum that we figure out what is an essential curriculum, and that we organize our work around essential learning outcomes that could be used in a context over a lifetime. Imagine this one. A philosophy professor and a biology professor would team teach an essential learning class on the evolution and the meaning of life, and the dean wouldn't worry about where the budget goes. And imagine that we focus on our creative energies and our applications rather than requirements that just are simply checked off. Imagine what that would feel like. So truly reimagine undergraduate education at Kent State University, one that is led by our outstanding faculty on every Kent State campus, scholars who are devoted to teaching and learning as well as research, and those scholars who really know the best there is to offer in classroom experiences, co-curricular experiences, and what truly makes that purposeful graduate. So as we might reimagine undergraduate education, I'll give you one more to imagine. What if we also imagined being America's healthiest university? Imagine a community focused on the health and well-being of every community member. Imagine multiple venues across our campus with access to healthy, non-processed foods, and that would be the norm. And that you would have easy-to-eat options on the run, and that when you could grab a few minutes with friends, colleagues, you might be able to have an enjoyable break with healthy foods wherever you go in multiple venues across our campuses. Imagine free access to fitness facilities. Let's hear 3 cheers for that one. So not only at our Kent Campus Recreation and Wellness Center, but what if in residence halls and other locations so that when you had to grab a quick workout, you could do that and you could focus on health. Imagine receiving discounts on your health insurance by engaging in programs that promote healthy behaviors and outcomes. Imagine a university dedicated to the principles of health and wellness, because wouldn't that actually really help in a purposeful education, is to really have an atmosphere of purpose. Principles that foster mental and emotional health as well as physical health. So what is there to wait on? We have a College of Public Health, a College of Nursing, a College of Podiatric Medicine. And not to mention, we have research that spans from psychology to exercise physiology to health education. So with resources like these and experts in our midst, it's easy to imagine that Kent State would be the healthiest university in America. I'm all for that. So, having looked to the future, I wanted to stress the great news about the state of our university. It's here and now, and in so many ways, Kent State is already a shining example of the best in higher education. We have achieved so much together that I think we could stay the way we are and be a very, very good university. But as I see it, so many of you agree in this room, because I've had conversations with you, taking that stance would mean turning away from this sort of daring, caring, and sharing attitude that we've really brought to this celebration and that we have really honed together in our 17 months together. And so I leave you with what I hope is a preview of next year's State of the University address. At that point, I hope to report that we are living and breathing the common vision, our why, and the priorities that will help us get there, and that we've worked so hard to develop, and we will work very hard to articulate those on a national level. We've created greater trust and transparency in the course of developing and advocating for an even better environment here at Kent State. We can work together. We can make that happen together. And we have shared our what, how, and our why so effectively that a lot more people know what we know about Kent State. And I hope that 12 months from now, you are joining me to celebrate the many new ways we have built on our momentum and strengthened our sense of community. It's important that we stick together in hard times, because the good times are on their way, and you are going to be the maker of those good times. It's knowing that Kent State is closer to becoming a distinctive and purposeful university. And I believe with all my heart, we are indeed destined to be that distinctive place that so many people look to for the best practices in higher education. And so right now, it's up to us to celebrate our membership in this wonderful community, and I hope that you will join with me and join hands to make this the truly great university that I know it can be. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for your indulgence of listening to a few ideas that might shatter our world a bit, but I can't wait to talk about them in greater detail. So thank you so much. You know that there is a reception upstairs in room 206 so that we can all celebrate together. But I thank you all for what has been a wonderful 17 months together with you. Thank you.